up? What's going on? So, I get questions sometimes, and sometimes I just bring those questions right here directly to you and share them in the format of YouTube. Sometimes I just, I like to do it on social media, but this one I want to do it on YouTube. I want to have a little breath, a little conversation, a little depth to this. And the question, and I get this question a lot. If you were going to start over, if you had to start over, and I love that because people, I guess people assume I don't have to start over, number one. And I get it right the first time. So it's a very interesting question because every time I start a business, I'm essentially starting over. Like I'm starting from scratch. And what would I do? Like, what would happen if I had to start over? So we're going to have a duality to that. We're going to have what would actually happen, because that's a great question. I had to start over from scratch. And then we're going to talk about what I did. And then we're going to talk about how my approach to a new business, essentially, because I view that as maybe not starting over, but just starting from scratch. Because that's what I think you want to know is the real question is, James, I'm brand new to business. I'm pretty new to entrepreneurship. Maybe I'm making a little bit of money, but what do I do? What's my next step? So that being said, let's start with if everything were gone, snatched out from under me, and I had to start over right now. Well, the first thing is I would be developing a high value skill, something that I can get paid for, that I am better than 99% of humans. So if you're watching this and you're doing the thing that you feel like you're better at 99% of people, then boom, check mark. If you're watching this and you're like, I'm not sure what that is, then go find it. And you're like, I don't have anything that I'm better than 99% of people. Well, it's because you haven't been, practicing. You got to practice to get better. When I first started in business, I started my very first business as a personal trainer. I remember everyone in the gym was getting results except for me. So you know what I did? I said, in order to get clients, I'm going to train people for free. So then I set up shop and said, listen, I'm training for free. Guess who came to me? Everybody. I was booked just like this. So I said, listen, I'm training you for free until you see results. When you see results is when you start paying me. You're like, well, James, I don't know about that approach. I'm going to tell you, there's some integrity in that approach. You know why? Because I had to get good really fast. Because the first of the month was coming. My mortgage was due. I had bills to pay. And a lot of you aren't getting good fast enough because you don't have a reason. It's like, oh, I'm good, man. I got some money. I got some savings. I got this. I got that. So the thing is, when you're going through and you're looking at my content and you're hearing me talk about being a 7-figure earner, guys, that stuff didn't just happen overnight. Okay? So you got to understand, I had to get good. And not only get good, I had to become great. The first thing I mastered was the art of sales because I had to convince people. I had to say, hey, give them a reason to do business with me. Now, I remember I graduated high school 145 pounds, like soaking wet with some boots on. Like I was little. And I mean Little. Little. And it's hard to convince somebody that when you're that small to say, hey, I'm a health and fitness expert. So first thing I had to do is convince myself. A lot of you are having trouble selling to other people, convincing other people because you haven't convinced yourself. So if that's you, do me a favor, jump in the comments and just go on and say, just type self if you have had trouble convincing yourself. I dealt with that exact same thing. I said, hey, am I qualified? Am I worthy? Do I need to be giving advice about this because I'm struggling with this? Then I had a moment of reflection and said, listen, there are people, I might be struggling with this, but there are people struggling with it at a greater level. I'm further ahead than them. So my audience are the people that I'm further ahead. I'm 1 to 2 laps ahead of them. So I didn't struggle with fat loss. I knew how to stay lean. I said, okay, I can help people with fat loss. And the next thing you know, I remember one of my very first clients, men, happened to work for a newspaper, one of the biggest newspapers in the area, the biggest newspaper in the area. He lost 30, 40 pounds with me. Next thing you know, Someone else in the health and wellness section writes an article on him and they said, man, how'd you lose all his weight? Then they interview him. He says, oh, hired a trainer. This is my guy. Boom. There it is. All the free sessions paid off. All the time when I'm putting my head down working, perfecting my craft, becoming an expert, paid off just like that. That was, in essence, that was my version of going viral, okay? And I know you're like, wait a second, dude, how old are you? Someone wrote a newspaper article about you, and then people actually contacted you? Yeah, that was before you could just hit a little button on your phone and the entire world have access to you. So imagine building a business that way. That's why I want you to hear this perspective, because I didn't have access to everyone at any time. I had to work to get attention. And I want you to know, if I were starting back over from scratch, oh, completely different game, because now I have to garnish attention and build a tribe and build a community around people that actually kind of know how I move, know a little bit about me. So a lot of you guys don't know about me. A lot of people don't know that I got accepted to Juilliard. A lot of people don't know that I wanted to be an actor. A lot of people go, oh, he got big shoulders. Man, where'd you play? What school did you go to? And I did play sports. But I rarely talk about playing sports and collegiate level sports because I want people to see beyond the muscle, beyond the broad shoulders and, biceps. It's like there's more to offer. There are layers to me. A lot of people don't even know that I'm on a local improv troupe. Like they're like, wait, you can't do that. It's like when you have muscles or you're athletically inclined, that's all you can do is just play throw and catch for some reason. But the fact is, you have to find that expertise and find it wherever you are. I find it on the field. I find it off the field. I find it in any kind of sport. I find it in acting. I find it in stand-up comedy. I find it right here. The ability to go, oh, can I get your attention? Can I hold your attention? Am I funny? Am I not? Am I this? Am I that? At the end of the day, it's all about getting that attention. And if I were starting back over, I would be saying, how quickly can I get people's attention? And getting people to know me. One of the biggest areas that I'm working on, I'm a huge extrovert. I'm just so private. I don't like everyone in my business. It's super intrusive to me. So that being said, how do you balance that? How do you do all that? Well, in an effort to get attention in a new business or starting a new business, it's building relationship and letting people get to know you and know that you're human. And that's something I struggle with still, if I'm honest, still struggle with, because I want people to know that I'm human. I want you guys, I want to build a relationship with you. I want to be in your city, in your country, wherever, and you walk up and be like, hey, James, what's up? But I also want to make sure you don't think you know me to the point where you can just roll up on me and be like, hey, bro, what's up? There's a duality there that I'm constantly fighting, if I'm completely transparent. And that duality can make it hard for me to build that level of community. But at the end of the day, I'm, like I said, brand new. I want to build that trust. I want to build that relationship. And I want to harness that capacity of saying, hey, I'm an expert. This is my high value skill. How do we exchange value here? So after that high value skill, if I were saying, listen, step one, he said build a skill. Just do that skill well. Get known for that skill. And you don't have to be selling anything. You don't have to have a product. You don't have to have a service. You have to have a skill set, and you have to build a community around that skill set. Now, you don't have to tell people what the skill set is. No, maybe your skill set is telling stories. Maybe your skill set is making people laugh. You just need to build a community around people who are interested in that skill. My skill could be fly fishing. My skill could be, I love shooting sports. That could be my skill. My skill could be the art of shaving. I love keeping my beard up. It could be anything. It does not have to be macro. It does not have to be micro. I know we hear, oh, the riches are in the niches. The point is, right now, we're just building rapport and gaining trust. So if I was starting back over, the number one thing I would do is I would jump on every platform out there and I would run my mouth over and over in a manner of building trust, not just shooting from the hip, but to build trust, let people know more about me, who I am, what do I do, and how I can help solve their problem. That would be the next thing, is I say, okay, all right, now that I have a high value skill and now that I'm building a community with this, how do I take my high value skill to serve my community. What is your biggest problem? That's the third thing. What is your problem? And what what is your problem? I say that, because you're like, well, that's right up in their face. No, what problem do you have in life? And how does that problem align with my high value skill? Because I think I have a solution to your problem. So tell me right now, as an entrepreneur, I want to know. Tell me, jump in the comments, James, this is my biggest problem. I want to know what it is. And here's the solution. I'll tell you one thing. As a kid, my mom had a solution to all of my problems. It was called a belt. I mean, it didn't matter what problem I had. If I had a problem sitting still, the belt was the solution. If I had a problem talking in class, the belt was the solution. If I had a problem staying beside her when we go in the store, the belt was the solution. If I wanted to go in the store and she told me before, I don't know, I'm an 80s baby, so it's a little different now. These 2000, y'all millennials, it's different, and Gen Z, real different. Because my mom looked at me. She said, listen, we go in the store. You stay beside me. You don't touch nothing. You don't ask for nothing. Those are the rules. Now, you break the rules. Guess what? She had a solution to my problem. I learned marketing. Two things I learned at a young age. I learned how to pray because I was like, God, please, Lord, please make sure she forgets about spanking me when we get home. I had a really effective prayer life at a young age because I was always praying, God, please make sure she forgets. Because she would tell me, I'm going to spank you behind. When you get home, you're getting a spanking. Lord, touch her memory, Lord. Just let her just lose her memory just for the next 30 minutes. I have never gotten home and gotten in my pajamas. Every time I was going to get a spanking, I put pajamas on as soon as I got home. Why? Because I'm trying to get into bed. I don't care if it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's bedtime. Good night. Quicker I can get in this bed, quicker I can pull these covers up, quicker she forgets about, okay, good night, son. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But what you going to bed for? Trying to avoid that spanking. Trying to avoid what's actually going to happen. Same thing you guys do as entrepreneurs. You got to watch your clients, your potential clients. They're trying to avoid their problem. You've got to meet them. You got to be right in there to be that solution and say, listen, I know you're trying to avoid this. It's okay. I have a solution. Now, your solution is going to be better than the solution that my mom had for me. That belt straightened me out really quickly. And so hopefully your solution is a lot less painful. And before y'all jump in the comments, judge me, oh, people shouldn't spank this. That is not what this is not what this is about, okay? It worked for me. Hey, we're not going to talk about whether I'm an advocate, not an advocate. That's not what we're here for. So for all you parenting police out there, because majority of y'all don't even have children, talking about what you should and shouldn't do. But the fact of the matter is, some stuff just works. And I think as an entrepreneur, if you're starting over, you got to look at going, hey, what works? If it works, do it. If it doesn't work, set it on the shelf. Don't throw it away. Set it on the shelf because it might work in 30 days. It might work in 60 days. It might work in 90 days. But keep testing over and over and over and over and over again. And as you keep testing, you're going to go, wait a second. This works in January, but it doesn't work in March. The next year, you pay attention. Worked in January, doesn't work in March. Start testing out in January. Ooh, maybe we need to push it back 2 weeks. Try it now. Okay, it's working. All right, so everything is shifted. Life is shifted about 2 weeks for us in terms of our entrepreneurial calendar. So understand all these things. When you're starting over, you're paying attention to all of these things, okay? Because if you don't, it's going to be extremely hard to do business. So like I said, recap really quickly. First thing I'll do is develop a high value skill. I would say, listen, what can I do better than 99% of other people? The second thing I do is I'm trying to garnish attention, okay? I want your attention. I want to build a community around this. I say, listen, hey, I want to build a relationship. I want us to get to know each other. I want us to hang out. Come over to the house. I'm cooking on the grill this weekend. Come by, kick it. Let's have a drink. Build community with people. The third thing is look at that community and look at your high value skill. Ask them, what problems do you have that my high value skill can solve? And here's what I want to say. If you're still developing your high value skill, then you say, what problems do you have? I know someone. And you invite people into your community that can solve it. they still see you as the hero because you know someone that knows someone. So community is still important with your potential clients and the people in your community, and it's important with your peers, other people that are doing similar things in your space, other entrepreneurs, other leaders, other movers and shakers, because I can make an introduction and bring someone else in that's an expert, and they still what? Say, hey, he's credible. This is a good guy. So once you do those three things, you say, listen, got a high value skill, got a community, and I'm solving problems, your life is going to be a lot easier. Because this is exactly what I would do. I would do it in that order all day, every day. When I start a new business later on this year, guess what? That's what I'm going to do. I've got a skill already. I'm going to build a community around that skill, and I want to tell people, listen, let me help you solve those problems. And then any gaps around that where I'm not good, I'm going to start to build revenue, generate revenue, and build a team and hire people that are what? They are better than 99% of people in the areas where I'm not. So focus on those things. I promise you. You do that. And hey, you won't end up like me. Well, my mom got that belt really quickly and popped my behind. You don't want that. You don't want the market giving you a spanking because you don't have your ish together. All right? Because trust me, it will happen. It will happen with a quickness. So I need you to stay focused. I need you to follow these 3 steps right here. And jump in the comments when you do. Let me know. Say, hey, James, this is where I am. I'm on phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. I want to know where you are. And I'll tell you, hey, this is what you need to focus on now.